Apparently, this video like debunks Black Clover copying Naruto. So we're gonna watch it. It's from Broku. Broku knows Spencer, so should be cool. We're watching Daigo Knight for anyone wondering. No, this is not Broku. This is not Daigo Knight. This is Broku. No hate to Broku. We have a mutual friend, Spencer. I want to see what this is about because I think it's pretty blatant that this shit was copying it.
A Black Clover chapter releases with a vague similarity to Naruto, and Naruto fans go crazy, calling Black Clover copy Clover and claiming that Black Clover creator Yuki Tabata is a Black Clover.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy running, bro.
Similarity to Naruto, and Naruto fans go crazy.
I'm gonna like speed this up though.
Calling Black Clover copy Clover and claiming that Black Clover creator Yuki Tabata is a plagiarist that is shamefully ripping off Naruto. Yuno and Asta rips off Sage Mode. Tengensu is ripping off the Sharingan. Yuki ripping off
Devil
Naruto.
Union does not rip off Sage Mode. Devil Reunion is a blatant rip off of KZM 2.
Rips off Sage Mode. Tengensu was ripping off the Sharingan. Yuno equals Sasuke. Asta winning with the Wizard King was stolen from Naruto wishing to be the Hokage. Yami killing his
Let's
clan.
find out. Asta is a kid that's aiming to become the Wizard King, but unfortunately he's not very good at magic. And everybody looks down on Asta thinking he can't do it. And everyone bullies him.
This needs to
talent.
stop.
Not even his
now.
equal taller Sasuke believes in him.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is
Black Clover is not a Naruto ripoff. Black Clover never copied Naruto. In fact, I can all but prove to you that Tabata isn't even inspired by Naruto, let alone copying from it. Yeah, that's right. There is basically no evidence that Tabata is taking inspiration from Kishimoto, let alone ripping off his manga. In this video, I will discuss these similarities, go over Tabata and Kishimoto's inspirations for their mangas, Black Clover and Naruto, and actually show you where these similarities are actually coming from. In fact, I'll just straight up prove to you that Tabata absolutely did not copy Asta wanting to be the Wizard King from Naruto wanting to be the Hokage. I'm going to start off with some of the silliest ripoffs that Tabata has committed, including.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Every anime that does this shit copy Dragon Ball. This shit is a Dragon Ball classic.
Direct comparison panels between them. Let's start with the first one. Yuki Tabata drew a panel of Asta crying. This is a shame because we all know that it was Kishimoto Sensei that was the one that invented crying. Crying as we know it did not exist until this very panel of Naruto was published. Okay, you might think it's a joke, but it is not. About a week ago, this Twitter thread went semi-viral in which it attempted to prove that Black Clover plagiarized Naruto. And it starts off with this image. But the deeper you get, the more silly it is that you realize. But first, let's just analyze these two images. They really don't look very similar. Naruto's crying as
well, I don't agree with this one anyway. Let's go to the next one.
Second image. Apparently, Kishimoto created serpents, and he created characters getting their arm and torso blown off. Do you actually want to know why these panels look similar-ish? Well, that's because Yuki Tabata has taken massive inspiration from Dragon Ball to make Black Clover. He's even drawn Goku in his own art style. And of course, it's fairly obvious that Kishimoto took inspiration from Dragon Ball as well for Naruto. And what panel am I thinking of here? This panel of when Cell got his arm and torso blown off in Dragon Ball Z. This is going to end up being a very common theme that I'll be getting into a bit later in the video. That is that a lot of these similarities between Black Clover and going to end up
is this nigga serious? Oh, okay, hey, Chad. No, I mean, like I said, no hate to Broku. Does the Black Clover one look more similar to the 8th Gate guy in Madara example, or the Final Flash and Vegeta example? Be honest. Which one does it look more similar to? See Dragon Roar. Might guy using a dragon. Like, come on. Arm knocked off. Missed the point of what? The attack was inspired by 8th Gate guy, but the arm knocked off looks more like so. I mean, yeah, it's possible that he took inspiration from both of them. I'm just saying, to say it's not from Naruto is just blatantly like you just can't fucking see. Like a dragon knocks the nigga's arm off.
thinking of here? This panel of when Cell got his arm and torso blown off in Dragon Ball Z. This is going to end up being a very common theme that I'll be getting into a bit later in the video. That is that a lot of the similarities between Black Clover and Naruto can be
Bro, I hate when niggas try to like do this like reductio ad absurdum type thing. Like, oh, Kishimoto invented dragons. No, Kishimoto didn't invent dragons, but Kishimoto did show a dragon rushing at a nigga to knock his fucking arm off. Yes.
explained by the fact that they have the same inspirations and reference material. They were inspired or enjoy some of the same series, and that leads to the similarities. Look guys, Tabata stole silhouettes from Kishimoto. I surely hope that Star Wars Lego contacted Kishimoto.
Bro,
look guys.
I can't stand this type of like dishonest rhetoric. And no one's saying he stole silhouettes. Do these not look similar? Am I tweaking? Like they just blatantly look similar. Whatever.
Tabata stole silhouettes from Kishimoto. I surely hope that Star Wars Lego contacted Kishimoto about using his patented silhouettes before they included them in their game. This thread gets worse and worse and worse. Kishimoto invented wings. Nobody else is allowed to use it. Kishimoto invented eye powers. You can't have eyes in your manga. Kishimoto invented combo attacks. Kishimoto invented...
Okay. Bro, hold up.
You can't have eyes in your manga. Kishimoto invented...
But come on, bro. Kishimoto invented combo attacks. That's how you apologize this. The two fucking rivals rushing at the bag he invented. Come on, man. Like come the fuck on, bro. Whatever.
Combo attacks. Kishimoto invented...
Okay, this one's taken out of context, but this shit right here is very clearly like Naruto inspired.
The giant monsters encroaching upon a city. Godzilla and King Kong would love to enter the chat. Oh, and a hero faces on against...
Yeah, bro. If he showed this like whole interaction, you would see. But this shit is definitely like a mirror.
The looming giants? I'm sure that when Snorri Sturluson wrote about Thor facing off against the giants encroaching the gates of Asgard over 700 years ago, that he first asked for permission from Kishimoto before publishing his word of the Poetic Edda. Kishimoto also invented hair. As you can see, pretty much all these similarities are just silly. They are baseline similarities that are not really that similar. When you have two...
Why is he trying to simplify them so much? No one is saying Kishimoto invented hair or monsters landing on the city. They're saying when you compare the two manga, like this shit has to be a troll. When you compare the two manga, the giant demon, or is it I forget what I think it's a devil in Black Clover, that's what they call him. The giant devil landing on the city, firing at the Wizard King, protecting it, is similar to Minato's. Or not inventing hair, but like the bitch is doing hair attacks similar to Kage and Jiraiya.
Manga that have many thousands of panels, they are bound to have a few.
Like I get what he's saying. Like niggas be taking this shit too far, because I think they do sometimes. But
that are at least a bit similar. But even after all that, people still eat this up, and Naruto fans somehow think that Black Clover is plagiarizing Naruto, which really gives me concern of the education system in our country. If they...
I don't think, even though I do think the niggas like copying Naruto or whatever, I don't think it's plagiarism. I think it's way more like inspiration than him just actually like copying it down.
Literally think the Black...
Because if you look at the Black Clover scenes or whatever that are like being compared to Naruto, it's always really it always really just goes that far. Like it's really just inspiration. Like if there's always that like Black Clover spin thrown on it. Like it's never 1-to-1 really. It's like saying it's not copying because Kishimoto didn't invent manga. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not 1-to-1 enough for it to be copying.
Naruto, but I want to highlight some of the main similarities between Black Clover and debunk the idea that Yuki Tabata copied Naruto. 1. Asta wanting to be the Wizard King is stolen from Naruto wanting to be the Hokage, and he steals the inner demon trope from Naruto and Kurama. 2. Yuno is a ripoff from Sasuke. 3. Yami killing his clan is a ripoff of Itachi killing his clan. 4. Devil Yun is a ripoff of Sage Mode. 5. And this is the most recent one, but has now become like by far the most popular thing that people point out. That is that the Shogun of the Land of the Sun, Ryu, and his Tengensu is a ripoff of the Sharingan. Now, of course, this discourse has a range. The anti-Black Clover crowd see this a few ways. They either think that Yuki Tabata outright plagiarizes Naruto, or they think that he's just so heavily inspired by Kishimoto's work, but he's too embarrassed to admit it, and he just really is taking way too much inspiration. In this video, I'll prove to you that it's actually neither. That's right, there is actually no sufficient evidence that Tabata was even inspired by Naruto, let alone ripping off of Naruto. In order to show that, I think it's best to delve into the different inspirations that Tabata and Kishimoto had to create their manga, and how these inspirations add a lot of clarification to everything. After that, I will return to 5 of these main plagiarism claims and recontextualize them, and I'm sure that this will completely change the way that you look at Black Clover if you currently believe that it's either a ripoff of Naruto or heavily inspired by the influential member of the Big Three. First, I'll start with Yuki Tabata and the inspiration and references that he used to create Black Clover. There are some major influences on his work, as well as some minor ones, but I will begin with the major players. It's fairly well known, both within and outside of the Black Clover fandom, that one of the major sources for Tabata was the seinen manga Berserk by Kentaro Miura. Rest in peace. Tabata has mentioned this several times in different interviews, that he believed Berserk was one of the greatest manga of all time, and had huge respect for Miura. It was his goal to take some of the similar themes of Berserk, implement them into Black Clover, and he wished to make a shonen Berserk, a way for the younger audiences to experience a similar story. Tabata has drawn Asta in some of the same famous poses that Guts is in. One of the main things that Black Clover shares with Berserk is how the symbolism of fate reigns thematically in the story. One of the biggest recurring themes in Berserk has to do with fate and the dark destiny that Guts has been going down for years. Fate is incredibly important in Black Clover's narrative as well, and much of the themes revolve around characters fighting fate head-on to change the path of their destinies. It's of course fairly obvious that Tabata took inspiration from Guts' infamous Dragon Slayer sword in the creation process of Asta's Demon Slayer sword. When Asta attains his Berserk form, he strikes a similar pose to when Guts received his Berserker armor, which is one of the most iconic poses in all of manga. You see this pose in so many different anime, manga, or even TV shows. Like, I noticed that this pose actually makes an appearance in Castlevania. Furthermore, when Asta masters his Devil Union, his armor does look similar to the Berserker armor. There are many other similar concepts and even character designs in Berserk that appear in Black Clover. The advent of the Tree of Qliphoth ritual in Black Clover is very similar to the eclipse in Berserk when demons came running out. Serpico and Yuno are two fairly similar characters that both use powers of the wind spirit and even create blades made from Sylph. Sol and Charlotte are very clear references to Farnese and Casca from Berserk, as you can tell by their similar style, friendships, and designs. Many people think that Asta, being an orphan and joining a team, is a copy of Naruto, when in reality, it's inspiration from Guts, where he was born an orphan and eventually joined the Band of the Hawk. Now, I've actually not read too much of Berserk, but I will finish it one day, and then I'll probably make another video discussing a lot more of the inspirations for Black Clover, as I find that would be a very interesting video idea. One of the biggest inspirations that Tabata has is Tite Kubo's Bleach manga series. Now, I don't know if this is because I've actually read all of Bleach, but it actually feels like Tabata has taken more inspiration from Bleach than Berserk, which is totally fine because Bleach is easily my favorite of the big three, and one of the greatest manga of all time. Tabata has mentioned Bleach and Kubo as revolutionary too.
Red flag. Red flag. Bleach is my favorite of the big three and one of the greatest manga of all time. But that shit just not true. That nigga's lying. He's fucking lying.
To him, especially on his art style. Kubo was one of the mangaka to popularize the quote-unquote overuse of having completely white backgrounds and panels, as it does an amazing job at contrasting the characters and allowing readers to appreciate every little detail of a character's design or the emotion they display. Even Tabata's art style is just similar to Bleach. He's even drawn an image of Kenpachi himself as promotional material for a celebration of one of Bleach's anniversaries, and it looks absolutely amazing. Bleach was so influential on Tabata that upon reading Bleach for the first time, I was able to make 2 separate Black Clover theory videos that ended up being correct predictions. I was able to make these theories because of the influences I saw. I predicted that Julius was going to be a pseudo Aizen, and this would be proven correct, as it was revealed that there was a secret soul living inside of Julius named Lucius, who was really the true big bad all along. This theory was sparked all because I saw this panel of Aizen. It immediately made me think of this art of Julius as well, and my mind was blown. Aizen was a captain who faked his death only to end up being the big bad all along, and everything was according to his plan. Julius
Is this nigga saying he didn't copy Kishimoto, he ripped off Bleach? Is that what this nigga's saying? I'm shocked right now. I didn't even know somebody. Is this nigga saying, no, bro, no, stop. He actually copied Bleach. What? Bro, I was thinking, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking, okay, Tabata is heavily inspired by Naruto. And then he just throws some of that shit into his story. Now I'm like, is there anything original in that motherfucker? This nigga just said the mangas are so similar that he made 2 theories off of reading Bleach that came true in Black Clover just off of inspirations. What?
A Wizard King had a fake death as well, only to end up being a part of the big bad Lucius Sagratis. There was a lot more similarities between Julius and Aizen that helped inspire me to make that correct theory. Another theory, which I will admit I was only half correct on so far, was that Asta would lose his anti-magic powers, but use Ki instead to make himself more powerful. This would parallel Ichigo losing his Shinigami powers, and then using Fullbring to help regain them. Asta never lost his anti-magic powers, but I was correct that Asta would use Ki, a completely different power system and unexplained power source at the time. He would use it to produce Zeton, which siphons life energy, to increase either magic power or anti-magic power. One thing I find very sly is how Tabata orders the rank of devils and a similar rank of the hollows, as there are 4 ranks for both. For hollows, there are the basic type hollows, who seem to be the most beast-like and are the weakest, which is similar to the low-ranking devils of Black Clover, who are the lowest rank, the weakest, and the most beast-like as well. Up next are the Gillians, or the Menos Grande. They consist of hundreds of hollows formed into one single entity. They are much more powerful than typical hollows, and seem a bit more humanoid, which can be compared to mid-rank devils in Black Clover. Furthermore, the Ajucha, who are more powerful, they are the next rank above the Menos Grande. In Black Clover, you have the high-rank devils. They follow a similar trait, as they become far more powerful and far more humanoid as well. Then finally, there are the Vasta Lorde, the most powerful and the most humanoid, as well as the Cliff-Off Devils, otherwise known as the Supreme Rank Devils, who are by far the most powerful, essentially the kings or leaders of the underworld. So in a sense, both the Espada and Paladins, as well as Aizen and Lucius, can be even further related, as Aizen worked with high-level hollows to create a Ronkar, which was a blend between Shinigami and hollow power, similar to the Paladins of Black Clover, where Lucius incarnates devils inside of humans, and then purifies them, giving them their true immortal forms. Even Nox devils have these masks, which seems to be an obvious Easter egg, referencing the hollow masks. Of course, there are a ton of distinct differences between Lucius and Aizen, and the Paladins and the Espada, but you can clearly tell that Yuki Tabata took inspiration from Kubo's Bleach and shaped it in his own way. There are, of course, many different designs in Bleach that Tabata has taken inspiration from, including some character dynamics as well. This can be seen with Byakuya and Rukia, both of the noble houses in the Soul Society. Byakuya being
this just has to be disingenuous. So this shit is similar. Nigga having his tongue out to the left, but Yuno and Asta attacking, who was it they were attacking? Licked in that scene, I think. That shit wasn't similar. This shit is similar, but none of the Naruto examples were similar. The fucking Minato, like, come on, bro.
some character dynamics as well. This can be seen with Byakuya and Rukia, both of the noble houses in the Soul Society. Byakuya being the older brother to Rukia and a Gote 13 captain. Nozel and Noel's relationship are pretty clear references to Byakuya and Rukia, even Nozel looks a bit like Byakuya. Of course, there are plenty of analogies between Ichigo and Asta as well, the two main characters of their respective series. Asta has struck many similar poses to Ichigo, and they often even fight similar, as Ichigo's Getsuga Tensho and Asta's Infinity Slash feel related. But one of the main connections is that both characters start off powerless. Ichigo is just a seemingly normal human until he is turned into a substitute Soul Reaper. Asta was born magicless in a world where everyone had magic, and then both Asta and Ichigo have to resolve within their worlds of the Clover Kingdom and the Soul Society, which are not fair, nor are they close to utopian, as they are ruthless cultures that are based on different class systems. There are plenty of other references sprinkled within Black Clover to Bleach, but
oh my god!
One of the next
Does this nigga have a single original idea? Holy shit!
mythology. Being a Norse mythology buff myself, I was able to make several correct theories and predictions in the series, like how I knew the reason why the Dark Triad needed William's World Tree magic long before the reason was revealed. Tabata admits in the Black Clover guidebook that he takes inspiration from the Icelandic sagas, which is where the vast majority of Norse mythology comes from, and acts as the basis from these amazing tales. One of the major influences is William Vengeance, who possesses World Tree magic. This magic is tied to the Yggdrasil. The first major spell that William casts is called Mistletoe Tree. Later in the series, William forges the Mistletoe Blade, which is an actual blade from Norse mythology that is likely made from plants or trees, though it's fairly obvious what William's magic is, and that is the Yggdrasil, the world tree from Norse mythology. This is because he has several Yggdrasil spells, and this is how I was able to produce a correct theory about William nearly 3 years ago, when I said that they would need William's magic because the world tree connects the realms together. This was proven true when it was revealed this was the exact reason the Dark Triad needed him, so that they could open the gates between the living world and the underworld. Another huge reference was Ril's spell, Twilight Valhalla, where he literally draws Valhalla in a twilight, which, during the twilight times within Valhalla, in the myths, all of Odin's warriors become far stronger and cannot be killed, which is exactly what the spell Twilight Valhalla does. This makes it pretty clear that Tabata doesn't just Google basic results to gain knowledge of Norse mythology, as he actually references a saga nearly bar for bar. This is the story of two orphan brothers competing to become the king of Scandinavia. Doesn't that sound a little familiar? Yeah, Tabata did not steal Asta wanting to be the Wizard King from Naruto. He's literally taking it from Norse mythology. I'll tell you the saga, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit more. Tabata has other inspirations.
To be fair, I also never agreed with the Wizard King like Okage thing. I never liked that one. Artist admits that he enjoys writing the script and drawing battle scenes. He likes to magnify the moments of his characters to make his sequences dynamics. Also have to mention Dragon Ball, which is another source of inspiration in mastering the movements of his characters. Akira Toriyama was able to draw clashes from several angles that always impressed me. Yeah, I mean, Black Clover's paneling can never be on the level of Dragon Ball's paneling. I think Dragon Ball has the best paneling in manga. But yeah, I mean,
Inspirations like Dragon Ball.
so far, this nigga has said he hasn't copied Naruto, but he did copy Bleach, Norse mythology, Dragon Ball, and Berserk. So I'm interested to see where else this goes.
He's even drawn Goku in his own art style, but he also references Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Dragon Quest, and even Yu Yu Hakusho was one of his main references, and it's the only reason why he put
Damn!
Dragon Quest.
Nigga, Dragon Quest, Lord of the Rings, I don't know what that third one is, I can't pronounce that. Harry Potter?
And even Yu Yu Hakusho was one of his main references, and it's the only
Nah, bro. And Yu Yu Hakusho.
put the third eye spell into Black Clover as stated by himself. Tabata makes many references to both Eastern philosophies and religions, as well as Middle Eastern religions and mythologies, with the biggest being the Tree of Qliphoth and the Sephiroth. The Eastern mythologies beginning to take more of a common place in the latest arc of Black Clover, where Asta travels to Land of the Sun, which is pretty much Black Clover Japan. Here, we are introduced to religious and mythological spell names. They were using Daizamon, turns into a giant Buddhist priest with his magic, the Yasha are referenced in Kamari's magic, and Kazokaku turns into a blood snow fox, which is based on the snow fox Inari that was hunted for its blood. Masashi Kishimoto took some of the greatest manga of all time as inspiration for his own work, Naruto, which has become one of the greatest manga of all time. The most obvious is of course Toriyama's Dragon Ball. There are numerous different connections between which has become Masashi Kishimoto took some of the greatest manga of all time as inspiration.
Naruto's inspiration.
Which has become one of the greatest manga of all time. The most obvious is of course Toriyama's Dragon Ball. There are numerous different connections between the series, but obviously one of the main ones is Goku and Naruto. Orange, outfitted martial artists with a goofy, silly nature, but also a strong will and heart that lends them to protect others. The Ninetales chakra mode to Super Saiyan is such a cool, referential contrast. And one of the other relations is that both have a pseudo-demon inside of them. Naruto has Kurama, and Goku has his own Saiyan nature of the Ozaru, both of their inner demons responsible for killing their parents. There are many other sources of information clearly expressed from Dragon Ball. Even some moments still make their way into the Boruto manga.
Bro, you know some dick eaters tried to say that thing didn't look like Frieza? That is fucking Frieza. That is Frieza in Boruto. I won't hear anything otherwise. That is Frieza.
Manga. Kishimoto took inspiration from one of the most famous mangaka of all time, Togashi, the creator of both Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. Kishimoto actually started with an old classic historical manga called Sasuke, which details the life of a real-world shinobi, but he built upon his own Sasuke rendition by taking notes from Togashi's Hiei and Kurapika. Yeah, Hiei was the dark-haired, ocular-powered, naturally talented shonen rival before he was cool, and Kurapika was the naturally talented rival whose entire clan has been murdered. He also has powerful red-eye abilities, an evil older brother, and uses lightning powers. I actually highly respect Kishimoto's ability to take some of the most highly touted manga series of all time, combine many of their aspects with his own ingenuity, and create Naruto. Because despite a lot of these inspirations, Naruto still feels like a fresh, brand new universe, and it truly is. One of the works that you can feel beating at the heart of Naruto is the many different interconnected Japanese histories and mythologies that are delicately combined into the Naruto world and history. As I mentioned earlier, Sasuke is a real character in history that has been mythicized, but one of the main pillars of the series, the Nine-Tailed Fox, is a real mythological figure, a demon god. Okay, I think that's enough of me discussing the many different references that these two amazing manga have used for their own series. Now it's time for me to discuss 5 of the most common plagiarism claims amongst Naruto fans when comparing the series to Black Clover. But I do want to remind you that there are bound to be similarities between Naruto and the Black Clover mangas, just based on their very nature. Both are shonen, which means they are intended for the same age group and demographic, young
This is true. Like both, come on now, both are shonen.
teen boys in Japan. Not only that, but they are also both battle fantasy series. They are the same genre. Furthermore, they were written around the same time. Naruto finished its run in 2014, Black Clover began in 2015. Also, Naruto's direct sequel, Boruto, is currently running at the same time as Black Clover. I believe it's important to highlight the last part because the era of when manga are released can be studied to see the similarities between them, highlighting different trends, thoughts, or even politics in the world at the time. But not only that, I've also shown you that both Tabata and Kishimoto have taken inspiration from the same things. Both of them reference Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Eastern mythology and history, which makes it even more of a probability that there will be similarities between these two manga because of these added factors.
They don't reference the same things though. from those manga. Well, whatever.
The first and most prevalent claim of plagiarism is that Asta is a complete and total ripoff of Naruto because he wants to be the Wizard King, like how Naruto wants to be Hokage, and he has an inner demon trapped inside of him. I've mentioned to you several times in this video that I can convince you that Tabata did not base this goal for Asta off of Naruto.
Actually, I don't agree with this one anyway, so I'm gonna skip
one of
it.
the Valkyrie was known as Gondul. She donned swan-like wings, and in Old Norse, her name translated to Wand Wielder, which draws heavy connections to Noelle, who has a Valkyrie form. She is also one of the outfit,
What the fuck
which
about
rhymes
Noelle?
to indicate that she is following along with the Valkyrie wielder symbolism. And she is the one who wields a baton, who wields Dainsliff, a sword of bone paired with space magic that grants it the ability to cut through anything. Dainsliff is made by a smith named Dane in the myths. Dane has his own constellation, which is a stag, which matches because Zenon.
Actually, let me just watch the whole section.
This video, how Naruto wants to be Hokage, and he has an inner demon trapped inside of him. I've mentioned to you several times in this video that I can convince you that Tabata did not base this goal for Asta off of Naruto. It's actually based on a saga from Norse mythology. Remember how Tabata admitted to being influenced by Norse mythology? Well, this ends up being very important. In Olaf's saga, there is a sub-saga called the Sorlathader, and it is in this story where Asta's motivation derived. In the Sorlathader, there are two kings known as Hedin and Hogni. Both of them are brothers, but not by blood, sort of like Yuno and Asta. Both of these brothers wish to become the king of all Scandinavia, similar to, you know. Anyways, each of these brothers were guided by a Valkyrie. One of the Valkyrie was known as Gondul. She donned swan-like wings, and in Old Norse, her name translated to Wand Wielder, which draws heavy connections to Noelle, who has a Valkyrie form. She is also one of the only people in the entire series to use a wand, and takes inspiration from the Ugly Duckling fairy tale with her swan-styled outfit. The other brother in this tale has a different Valkyrie guiding him named Hildur. Hildur had the ability to prevent people from dying, which rhymes with Mimosa, who's related to Noelle and Asier. They both have Valkyrie powers, and Mimosa has wings of her own, which can indicate that she is following along with the Valkyrie Hildur symbolism. And she is the one who guides Yuno, essentially, because she's in the same squad as Yuno. Also in this tale, one of the brothers fights a king who wields a mighty blade known as Dainsliff, a sword that can cut anything, which matches Yuno facing off against Zenon, who wields Dainsliff, a sword of bone paired with space magic that grants it the ability to cut through anything. Dainsliff is made by a smith named Dane in the myths. Dane has his own constellation, which is a stag, which matches because Zenon was the first devil-themed character to have antlers thanks to his bone magic, giving Zenon the stag symbolism to match the Dainsliff and Dane from Norse mythology. With all of these glaring similarities to Black Clover, and an admittance by Tabata himself in the databook that he uses the Norse sagas as inspiration for his story, Tabata would be more than likely taking inspiration from Norse mythology to give Asta's motivation, rather than taking it from Naruto via Occam's razor. So yeah, arguably the biggest plagiarism claim is debunked right off the bat. The next
Okay, that was just a bad argument. That was just a bad
claim
argument.
people make
I'm
is
not
that
gonna
Yuno is a
lie.
Sasuke ripoff, which is by far the silliest of the bunch. Yuno and Sasuke are hardly alike. People say the similarities between Yuno and Sasuke are that they are both talented, dark-haired, and a better-looking rival to the main character. But it's just so funny how completely vague these similarities are. Really? But it's really easy to tell why these similarities exist between Sasuke and Yuno. Remember that Sasuke had aspects taken from Hiei and Vegeta for the character to be created. What do we know about Yuno? That he was likely made from the inspiration of Serpico and Berserk, Uryu and Bleach, Hiei from Yu Hakusho, and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. It's again almost like some of these similarities exist between Sasuke and Yuno because Tabata and Kishimoto are taking inspiration from these same sources.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
The third major claims that Tabata is plagiarizing from Naruto by making it so that it was Yami Sukehiro who wiped out the Yami clan, being the older brother he is, and saving his little sister Ichika from their wrath. Immediately, people are calling Yami a clone of Itachi. I don't think that I need to even begin to attempt to debunk the notion that Yami is an Itachi clone. Because I mean, if you just look at them, they are really nothing alike. Their story arcs, their powers and abilities. If you think that Yami is plagiarism of Itachi, then either you need to go back to school or pay more attention in class, because you need professional help if you think this character is a ripoff of Itachi. Plus, this still leads us back to the action itself. The killing of a clan. Clan massacres are so common in both myth and history, or even other works of fiction, that they become a trope. Kishimoto does not hold a trademark on clan massacres. And Hunter x Hunter, the Kurta clan was massacred as well. The Saiyan race was massacred in Dragon Ball, which both Black Clover and Naruto are inspired by. But okay, I get it. It's a bit more similar than just that. It's the older brother wiping out the clan. Well, actually, it's not. The funny thing is that it's been over 2 months since it was revealed that it was actually Ichika that was the one who wiped out the Yami clan. But it's funny because Naruto standboys will still say that it was Yami who wiped out the clan, which just shows that the vast majority of these Naruto fans do not even read Black Clover, so they have no right to claim that it's plagiarizing from their precious series. Another very common topic I see brought up is that Devil Union is a ripoff of Naruto Sage Mode or Kurama Mode. This is because you have Naruto taking the powers of his inner demon, Kurama, has a 5-minute time limit, and has these orbs surrounding him. He also has crosses in his eyes. Devil Union is using all of the anti-magic devil's power. can only use it for 5 minutes, has orbs around him, and has slits in his eyes. I understand this seems pretty damning on a surface level, but it only takes a little digging to peel back all of the plagiarism claims. Just from the sheer look, it is clearly that Tabata took parts of Hollow Ichigo's design, as well as Guts' Berserker armor, to come up with the devil.
Bro, when will this nigga understand? Yeah, Naruto does have a 5-minute time limit when he first enters KCM2. When will this nigga understand that just because he took inspiration from somewhere else as well does not mean he didn't take it from Naruto?
Union form, which, speaking of, Tabata having Asta taking more power from his inner demon is inspiration from Bleach, not Naruto. When it comes to the 5-minute time limit, the time limits are actually very common for transformations in fiction, especially new ones.
Oh my god, bro. This shit's pissing me off now. Like, this is actually pissing me off. The first time Asta does a perfect union with his inner demon, just like the first time Naruto did a perfect union with his inner demon, I'm sorry, not perfect, completed. The nigga says, our union's not perfect yet, we have 5 minutes. Asta's devil says, our union's not perfect yet, we have 5 minutes. It's there. It's right there. Just because time limits are a common in fiction does not mean the 5-minute time limit with all the other hold up, Clyde done it. There's around 30-50 pages of Black Clover or blatant Naruto ripoffs. And now he's proven Black Clover doesn't steal from Naruto. It just steals from other media and stories. It also stole stuff from Bleach. Yes, Clyde, the nigga said that he correctly guessed, what was it? 2 different two different fucking Black Clover storylines conclusions just because he read through Bleach and saw the similarities and knew where it was going. Then he's like, oh, it didn't rip off Naruto. It just ripped off from everywhere. Whatever, bro.
They've been around for quite a long time. For example, transformations in fiction, especially new ones. Kishimoto did not invent time limits. They've been around for quite a long time.
Kishimoto did not invent time limits. That's not the fucking point. Oh my god, that is so disingenuous and ratty to fucking say.
For fusions or forms, so it's far more likely that both Kishimoto and Tabata took inspiration from that. And as for the orbs, it's far more likely that Tabata took inspiration from the series Siren back when he was an assistant on it.
Oh my god.
As there's a character that has black orbs surrounding them, though it could also be that Tabata is also referencing Japanese mythology and using the Raijin drum orbs. This is something he did with Lux Ultimate Magic. The Raijin is a Japanese thunder god.
Those don't look the same. Now, I want y'all to tell me, hold on, let me go back to Asta's. Where's Asta's orb? Do those orbs look more similar to those or these? Like, come the fuck on, man.
You can clearly see the similarities between Luck and a Raijin, so this seems to be the actual creation process of the orbs, rather just stealing them from Naruto. He's just taking them from the Raijin. And as for the cross slits in the eyes, I mean, sure, it's the shape of a cross, but they're also just, like, very different. Like, Asta's slits look way more realistic versus Naruto's, and the reason why Asta's is shaped like that is because it's supposed to be the shape of a star, because that's, like, what the symbol on his chest is. They're similar symbols, but the cross is such a basic symbol, guys. You cannot claim that it's stealing from Naruto just because he uses a cross. The final and now probably most
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe it. I'm genuinely in shock. No way. No way that nigga just said that. Let me run it back.
And a Raijin, so this seems to be the actual creation process of the orbs, rather just stealing them from Naruto. He's just taking them from the Raijin. And as for the cross slits in the eyes, I mean, sure, it's the shape of a cross, but they're also just, like, very different. Like, Asta's slits look way more realistic versus Naruto's, and the reason why Asta's is shaped like that is because it's supposed to be the shape of a star, because that's, like, what the symbol on his chest is. They're similar symbols.
The symbol on his chest is completely... Okay, now, I'll just do this again. Does that symbol in Asta's eyes look more like that or like that? I'm gonna ask again. Does this symbol right here look more like this or this? I don't care if it's supposed to be a star, not a pro. That's not the point.
symbols, but the cross is such a basic symbol, guys. You cannot claim that it's stealing from Naruto just because he uses a cross. The final and now probably most infamous claim of Black Clover plagiarism is the reused Tengensu and claiming that it's a ripoff of the Sharingan from Naruto. This is because it's an ocular-based power with the same symbol. Or wait, no, it's actually not the same symbol. The Sharingan uses the Tomo, and the Tengensu uses the Makadama, which actually it might not technically even be the Makadama because Tengensu is actually a real ability in mythology and history called Tengenjutsu. It was a fortune-telling ability, and it used the yin and yang symbol. Yin and yang look like two different Makadama, so actually Tabata is quite literally taking Tengensu from mythology, not Naruto. The Tengensu in Black Clover works differently from the Sharingan, has different abilities, and is actually more grounded in mythology as well. So nope, Tabata absolutely did not take the Tengensu from Naruto, he took it from mythology. It's pretty blatant. And again, people just think that Kishimoto owns ocular powers, even though he wasn't even the first writer to use eye-based powers, especially with symbols. Actually, there is a myth in the Norse sagas where there's a old Viking legend named Sigurd Snake-Eye because he had a slit in his eye that looked like a serpent, and they gave him serpent powers. So there's no reason.
Look at this ugly ass baby.
Slit in his eye that looked like a serpent, and they gave him serpent powers. So there's no reason to assume he's copying from Kishimoto, especially when we know that he's just using an ability that already existed in history and mythology. One more thing I want to tackle is Kurama versus Liba. Tabata absolutely did not copy this inner demon trope. For one, it's not even close to an analogy between the two. Kurama was a beast that was going to wipe out the Hidden Leaf Village, so Minato sealed him inside of Naruto, whereas Liba was the opposite. He was powerless and was going to be killed by the Magic Knights, but was saved by Lasita. He also isn't even sealed inside of Asta. He's sealed inside of the Grimoire, which chose Asta. So Asta has actually spent most of his life without Liba, a stark contrast from Naruto and Kurama. Also, the inner demon trope exists in Bleach with Hollow White and Ichigo. It's far more obvious and likely that Tabata uses this as inspiration rather than Naruto and Kurama. Every single creative individual uses reality to create their own stories, and other stories exist in that same reality. You will never find a story that is 100% original. Every single popular story takes inspiration from other series. When the Black Clover anime was coming out, there was a few statements made that made it seem like it was copying Naruto. TV Tokyo stated that they wanted a new long-running shonen to replace Naruto's run, and they wanted to be Black Clover. But this has nothing to do with Tabata and his actual creation process. It's merely just circumstance. Also, Western anime sites like Crunchyroll actively called Black Clover the next Naruto or the next king of
I'm at a loss for words at this point. I think I think at this point I'm just gonna let the video play out, and then we'll just move on with life.
shonen. But let's remember how far removed Crunchyroll is from Tabata and the creation process. Tabata makes the original story, Studio Period adapts it into an anime, and then Crunchyroll purchases the rights to stream the anime in other countries and translate it. Them comparing it to Naruto has absolutely no merit of it being a Naruto clone. Recently, one of Tabata's assistants released a Naruto Easter egg. This has nothing to do with Tabata or Black Clover. It's just an assistant appreciating Naruto. As I showed in the video, there is zero evidence that Yuki Tabata plagiarized Naruto. 100% of the similarities between Naruto and Black Clover boil down to them being in the same demographic, the same genre, nearly the same era, and taking inspirations from some of the same sources like Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Japanese mythology. Tabata has listed his inspirations and references. There would be no reason for him to lie. If he was inspired by Naruto, he would have said it. People are assuming that he's just plagiarizing and doesn't want to admit it, but that would make no sense. Naruto is just as derivative of other series as Black Clover, yet Kishimoto has admitted to his own inspirations. What this means is that Tabata is not only not plagiarizing Naruto, but he's never even been inspired by it. Black Clover never copied Naruto.
I I, I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Language. Okay. Hey, you know what I mean? That's just how it is, bro. Sometimes it's just like that, man. Hey, Black Clover niggas just gotta be brain dead at this point. That's all I'm saying. Cause, bro, holy fuck. I almost wish I didn't watch that. And bro, it's not like taking inspiration from something isn't even us trying to be the plagiarism king. W dodo for misery. Bro, but it's not even like cause I know Naruto's not 100% original. That would be fucking like it'd be fucking stupid to ever think that. It's how much shit was clearly taken from Naruto. That baffles me with Black Clover. And something not being 100% original is fine. Whatever, bro. If it was Black Clover didn't copy, it'd be one thing. There are very, very obvious things that are inspired, bare minimum. Yeah. Yeah. I more or less agree. Have you read Fire Force? No, I watched season 1, and I never got around to finishing season 2. Or did I? I think I did finish season 2. Whatever I stopped at, I didn't want to watch anymore. I'll say that. Yes, bro. It's literally just rhetoric. The whole video is rhetoric. The video was him. He basically went with like, oh, Black Clover was inspired by these things. You can see it here. You can see it here. You can see it here. But then anytime it was with Naruto, he was like, no, that's not inspiration. That's not inspiration. No. That shit was so dishonest. He was like, oh, Julius was drawn in the same pose as Aizen. Clearly inspiration. And then like the same thing with Naruto, and he'd be like, nah, not inspiration. Rhetoric is just, I just combine rat and rhetoric. Like he's being dishonest like a rat. That's just what I mean. But yeah, bro, I mean, fuck, bro, that shit pissed me off. With this thing I like, it doesn't apply. Yeah. I don't even understand, bro. Are you okay? I mean, yeah, I'm cool. Obviously, I'm not like genuinely getting fucking like bent out of shape over the video. It's like, it's really just the dishonesty. I don't know why. Whatever. Ugh. It was a pretty good video, but yeah. I mean, the video was informative as shit. Like saying like the Bleach inspiration and all the other like shit that the nigga took inspiration from, it was informative. You tell that Ick Troy to keep an eye out for me. I'm coming for that money he owed me. All right, I'll tell him. What is an? Why'd you call him an Ick? Yeah. You got it, Cole. You don't have to be in those though. That was I forgot you. Wait a minute. Yeah, I forgot you had that role. That's just for the people from my old server. You don't have to join those. Let me put this done on screen. I'm thinking right now, but should I? Okay, chat. Y'all gotta be honest. Take another from Naruto. Even though the series pays homage to Naruto multiple times, hey, no, it didn't pay homage to Naruto. It just paid homage to Harry Potter, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho. What was all the other shit that nigga said? Dragon Ball. But that nigga said fucking everything. W Tendo. Appreciate it. Oh, Lord of the Rings. That shit damn near made me want to make a video in response, but I'm not gonna do that. I need to chill out anyway.